Acting Prime Minister, has he or his office sought an assurance from the Minister of Conservation that he did not know about the existence of the draft submission prepared by the Department of Conservation in early July relating to the Ruataniwha Dam before 17 September 2013? And if not, why not?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, no. An assurance was not required because the Minister has advised this House in his answers to a number of questions that he had not seen the leaked draft submission until Tuesday the 17th of September, and I take the Minister at his word. The Minister was aware that the Department of Conservation was working on a submission. He wasn't aware of the content of the leaked draft submission until Tuesday the 17th of September. My office was advised by the Minister's office on Tuesday the 17th of September that the leaked draft submission was never sent to the Minister.
Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Cunliffe.
To the Prime Minister, why does he take at his word the Minister of Conservation's statement from Tuesday last week, and I quote, "I did not know that this draft document even existed until this morning"? And if that word is proven to be incorrect, what action will he as Prime Minister take?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, as I said, to take the member at his word, it would not be unusual for a Minister to ask to see a departmental submission.
Speaker.
Order. Supplementary question, Honourable David Cunliffe.
Is the Prime Minister concerned about reports that an official working on Doc's Ruataniwha Dam submissions has resigned as a result of his Minister's involvement?
Honourable Bill English on behalf
Mr.
of the Prime Minister.
Speaker, there's no evidence that that claim is true.
Speaker.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Cunliffe.
Exactly why does the Prime Minister think that the Director-General of Conservation or senior managers would email senior staff that the Minister is concerned, quote unquote, with the submission, given that his Minister said in answer to whether he'd raised concerns, I quote, "Did I give an indication? No, I did not."
Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Speaker, the Minister receives weekly departmental reports. This is not unusual. And in that departmental report, I am advised there were 2 sentences in it regarding lodging a submission in the name of the Director-General. The Minister asked to see a final submission before it was made. On Wednesday, the 31st of July, the Minister received a full briefing on the final submission. The leaked draft report appeared on Tuesday, the 17th of September, which was the first time the Minister had seen the leaked draft.
Speaker.
Supplementary question, the Honourable David Cunliffe.
To the Prime Minister, does he stand by his statement, quote, "I expect high standards from my ministers. If they don't meet the standards I set, then obviously I will take action if necessary," close quote. And if so, will he ask Minister of Conservation Nick Smith to resign if it is proven that he indicated to the Department of Conservation that they should change their submission, or if it is shown that his statements to this House or to the media are incorrect?
Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, whatever the details the member thinks he's going to release or divulge, I would hope at the same time he'll divulge the final version of his CV.
Order.
Mr. Speaker, to the Prime Minister.
Order. 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 Supplementary question, the Honourable David
Speaker,
Cunliffe.
is it true that a draft submission from the Ministry of Primary Industries expressed concerns over the economics of the Ruataniwha Dam, but that the final submission reversed this finding? If so, why was this 180-degree turn made, and which ministers and or their staff were involved in any way?
Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime
Mr.
Minister.
Speaker, I have no advice on that matter. I think the member can be reassured, though, that all issues around the Ruataniwha Dam will be dealt with by the statutory processes that apply to a large project that has environmental and economic impact.
Order. 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 Supplementary question, Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can the Acting Prime Minister explain to the House how it was possible for Nick Smith to say he did not know the submission even existed until the 17th of September, and yet the briefing note from the 29th of July includes a discussion of the very same submission?
Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I understand it, as Dr Smith has answered in the House, that the note on the 29th of September said they were making a submission. He then asked to see the final submission, which is a legitimate, perfectly normal activity by any minister of any department.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Dr. Russell Norman.
Can the Prime Minister explain how it is possible to have a discussion about a submission, as the evidence shows there was a discussion on the 29th of July, and yet the Minister says he did not know the submission even existed until the 17th of September? How is it possible to have a discussion about a submission you don't know exists?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, again, as I understand it, the departmental weekly report said that they were making a submission. The Minister had not seen that submission. When they showed him a submission a couple of days later as the final submission, he saw that submission. The one the draft member is referring to appeared sometime later in September, on September the 17th, and it was the draft leak submission, not the final submission. And it doesn't matter how hard the member digs, there's no conspiracy here. It's pretty straightforward. The Minister asked to see a submission, and he saw it.
Point of order.
Point of order, Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know it may seem a fine point, and so you may not agree with my point of order, but there is a difference between whether you've seen a copy of it or whether you know it exists, and that's the issue of debate.
I've heard quite enough. The member can use further supplementaries if he wants further detail from the Prime Minister. The question was, can the Prime Minister explain? And the Prime Minister attempted to explain. Question number 3, Alfred Naro.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister of Justice.